talked about it enough. And you raise a point. You raise a point. I'm explaining myself enough about the situation that's like,
I don't need to explain myself, period. Like, bro, like the only one that I've ever told about my past relationship problems is you three guys. You, Quasi, Shakir. That's it. Anybody else who's asked me, I swear to God, I put this on my life. I've straight up be like, I don't want to talk about it. Not because I'm hurt about the situation, but simply because I don't want to talk about it. It's none of your business. That's it. Like it's I don't have to explain myself. I can cheat for.
yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the O2 podcast. I believe this is episode 72. This is going to be quick. I still got my work clothes on, and I got stuff to do. So it's going to be a quick 1-2 episode. How's your week been, boss?
It's been chill. It's pretty good. I can't cap. How about you? How's Chicago?
Brother, I think that might be just the bulk of this podcast is me recapping the trip and us talking about what went on and how do we even proceed from here. So for the viewers who don't know, we're recording this on the Monday, June 29th. I was just in Indiana visiting one of our homeboys. I think we talked about him a little bit, Dua. You know, he said, hey, man, he always talk about you should come visit because you're close. I'm like, but you know me, I don't like but I was like, but for some reason, like I kept like it felt like I was like something was like you gotta go, like you don't, even if you don't want to go, you gotta go. And I didn't understand why until I got to the latter part of the trip, but we're gonna get to all that juice later. But we get there and he also has a new girl and he's like, it would be sick for you to meet her. I'd love to know what you think about her. He's like, it's not gonna change anything, but you know, just still I want to get a. And I was like, you know what, we've been good friends for a while, let me go out there. Your boy on a Thursday, your boy done hooked up, got the rental. The longest drive, I'm never doing that drive again. I think from next time for a long drive, I'm gonna just take the flight, bro. It was 5 hours there and 5 hours back, bro. I was like,
That's chill as how.
but I don't like taking breaks, so I do it all in one sweek.
Oh yeah, no, you're crazy.
Yeah, like so, like it was like definitely toxic on me. But I got to before I went to Indiana, I stopped in Chicago to like one of my friends had a business trip there, had dinner, and I stayed in Chicago for that night. And I woke up at like 3 a.m. and then dashed over to Dua. So I get to Dua for the Thursday. I got there on a Friday. We got there on a Friday. We had bowling plans. So got there on a Friday. I gave him this jersey at work. Came back. I took a nap for the majority of the day. I was working from home, so I worked from home. Took a nap, and then he came in. We chopped it up. We got some clothes on. We went bowling. Now to start off, I didn't really want to go bowling because
Did you link Liu? Did Liu pull up?
we gonna get there, brother. But yes, I did see Liu. We was like, we got to the trip, and then we're going bowling, but I didn't want to go bowling because I'm like, low key. At first, he told me it's him, his girl, and me. I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to see that, bro. You about to be over here, like, basky. I don't want to be the nigga just in the corner like this. I didn't, but then he did me a solid. He invited one of his friends, one of his girl's friends. Her name is Isabella. Her name is Isabella. So then she pulled up to the trip. So it was like we were still third wheeling, but at least I had somebody that whenever shit got awkward, I didn't want to look at. I could turn and be like, "Hey, how's your day going?" Like it wasn't that weird. So we go to bowling. Bowling is great vibes. You know what it is. Like it was like, mind you, this whole first of all, I'm missing parts. We drove the rental to go pick them up to bowling. Right, my boy hopped out the car, went inside the crib to go get his girl. Come out, open car door. She says, "Thank you, babe." No worries. He shuts the door. Da 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 da. Now you guys are probably wondering why am I so mind blown about this? I'm not mind blown about the fact that he's opening car doors. It's the fact that who's opening car doors. This isn't somebody I'm used to being this romantic. So seeing it in real time was shocking for me. I'm not shocked he's doing it. I'm my frontal lobe is developed to the point I realize you do that kind of stuff when you love your woman. That's point blank period. But I'm like, okay, I'm thinking this is like a one-time occurrence. I don't think there was ever a time she stepped in a car where he didn't go and open the door for her. He didn't go and open it for her to get out, but every time she went in the car, he opened the door for her. I was like, cool. So we go bowling, and first of all, his girlfriend can bowl. She had like 175 points, bro. None of us was catching up. She whooped our asses twice, and then I think Dua also came in first place, but we was having fun. Your boy took care of Dua. Not a single dollar came out of my pocket on that entire trip. He took care of your boy. So we went bowling and like I got to meet Isabella. I got to meet the girl a little bit. Like we chopped it up. They asked me like little conversations there and there. Cool. That first night is done. The second night, brother. The second night. Hold on. So the second night we wake up, first of all, Dua woke up before me and he made me breakfast. I had the eggs on deck. He had the waffles. He even had your boy drinking coffee off the wake up. I'm not gonna lie, Dua, I gotta give him your flowers. phenomenal host. So we have the flowers and stuff like that, and the plan was we're gonna watch the Ghana Croatia game, and then watch the Ghana Croatia game, and then we're gonna go out all, and that's when Liu was supposed to come in. So throughout the day, like I'm just like me and Dua are just catching up. Like he's telling me, like, and he's talking. He's like, I think she's the one. He's like, I love the way. Oh, I'm missing parts. We played pickleball with her in the morning. So we went over. She lives in like this gated community with like houses and stuff. So we went over to her place to have a pickleball tour. They taught me how to play pickleball. We like played pickleball. Like we like got active and then came back, showered and like relaxed. And then she came over. She cooked. But before we were talking, he's like, I love this girl. I see myself marrying this girl. Like he's all in for this. And like, you know, when you could tell when your homie bullshitting, but it's coming from the heart. So I'm just like, damn.
Be for real.
Yeah. So then we go in the kitchen and then she comes to cook and he goes up in the kitchen. And I'm watching them in the kitchen go back and forth. The little poodle. I'm like, maybe I want a base ski too. But then I realize I'm just like, I'm watching it every time. I'm like, this is beautiful. So then eventually, Isabella wasn't like feeling well. Like she had like health issues before that. I think she's come from Israel, but like she just beat cancer, which is like, so she's still going through the health repercussions of that. So she like she wasn't feeling well, but eventually she rallied and she came and she like hung out with us. So that's when Liu and them pulled in, and Liu pulled up with two people, and the only information I knew about these two people were that they were together and they were friends of Liu's. That's all I knew. So they pulled up, and you know, vibe is vibing. We watched the game. Obviously, we also had the game turned out. We're not even going to talk about Ghana because that's not the point of this podcast. But they ended up, they go, Liu brings the friends, we finish, and then after we finish, we like get ready and we go out to like bars and stuff. So we went out to like this a little bit of a sports bar that has like dining and stuff like that. Because we're grown now. We can't be doing that rah rah rah. Like we sitting down, we're talking, cool. We get there, the girl gets drunk. Right? Like I'm talking about like I don't know how long they've been drinking, but you could tell like she was damn near falling asleep. She gets up, and mind you, before when Liu first saw me, he had brought up Kate. He had brought her up and was like,
Kate?
your house. The owner of your house.
Okay.
Yes. So he had brought her up when we were in there and we were like low-key talking about it, but the conversation never.
I would have been like, why are you bringing this up?
But because remember I told you the last time I spoke to her was when she had blacked on me because of something Tiambe had said.
Oh, okay.
So Liu brought it up because Liu he didn't bring it up to like bring it up. He brought it up to apologize because he felt like he had a part to play in that because it was him and Tiambe that made the decision to tell her. So he was just letting me know.
Yeah, that would have been
like respect, which I'm like it's a little too like I'm like I don't really like I don't want to really care about like I hadn't really thought about it, but he's like it was looking kind of my fault. And he was describing to me what happened, and he was like, yeah, they tried to talk to her and be like, yo, your boy's still like he's still hurt over the situation. But then she had pulled out the podcast clip and showed it to them too, and they was like, we couldn't even defend you, brother. He was like she hit us with the evidence, and we was looking at each other like,
damn. We're like, I don't even know how you feel.
Yeah. So then he was telling me about that, and we were laughing about it, chopping it up, and cool. Whole time, everything's cool. So we get to the bar, and we're talking this, that, and the third. The girl calls Tiambe on the phone. So Tiambe hops on the phone, and he's
what girl?
talking to me. I forgot her name.
Or the girl that Liu's friends.
Liu's friend. So Liu came with two other people, a girl and her boyfriend. So the girl was like, the girl called Tiambe, and we're chopping up with Tiambe, and then Tiambe brought her up again and will like recount, and this basically the same thing like you said was like, yeah, like we tried, and she popped out the evidence, and like it's like, brother, we tried but we couldn't. After that, we didn't even know what was like, we couldn't even defend you after that point. I'm like, it's calm. The girl hears it, she was like, oh, so you're the thing. She takes I'm 90% sure she took out her phone and took a picture of me and sent it to her.
Hey gang, I would have been like, why would you do that? Like what made you think that's okay?
But again, like she was drunk, and I was like, okay, like,
not an excuse.
Yeah, but I was like, I wasn't tripping over because I was like, I'm not gonna lie, it stung a little bit because I was like, damn, I thought like this was so. I didn't, but the thing is, I don't know if she took a picture or not. Like, this is me just assuming she took a picture, like, because she had the phone propped a certain kind of way, and then I was like, so that was me just assuming, right? But then she hands me back the phone to talk to Tiambe, and I see her name pop up on the iMessage 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I'm like, okay, so definitely something is being said, and I don't. Brother, it took every bit of self-control in my body not to press that message. Bro, the phone was right in front of me.
I would have pressed it. What are you gonna do?
I couldn't, bro. I couldn't. And the thing is, the first time it happened, she snatched the phone away from me. And then I saw it back, but I was like, I've already had seen it. So then the whole thing is going on, and then she's talking, and then mind you, she's drunk as hell. She's like, so what did you do? And I'm like, I'm like, I fucked up. I don't know how many times I have to say this out loud. I'm like, this is now like the sixth, seventh time I've admitted I have fucked up, and it's like it's like at this point it feels like those cut humiliation rituals. Like you just want to hear me say it.
Mm-hmm.
So then I told her, and I was like, yeah, like it was my fault. Like I would say I'll take full responsibility. Like I don't have anything negative or bad emotions to harbor towards her. And then she started. She was like, yeah, this Negro done lost a baddie. Da 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 da. Bro, I'm talking about like Ibra.
In a bar full of white folks, and I know it's full of white folks, so I don't even need.
Ibra, she's right. Like Ibra, this is my face. This girl's right here.
Especially with that drunk, hot alcohol breath. Like drunk people get drunk and they would have just talk all in your ear and in your face, like is all up in your face. And I'll be just wanting to be like, bro, you got 5 seconds to get up out my face.
Ibra, and she's in my ear, and she's like, "You lost the baddie. You ain't shit. This nigga done fucked up." And she's saying this, and
You ain't shit.
And Ibra, this whole time, I'm like, I'm taking it to the chin because I've evolved to know once you start arguing back, you are the sassy one. So I'm like,
I don't care.
So I'm like, you know what? It's fair. Is that in third? But like, no disrespect, and the thing is,
I don't know what you're talking about. Disrespect. You said you already messed up. At the end of the day, no. At the end of the day, it's you and hers' relationship.
But
you coming up in my ear talking about you ain't shit. Whoop-de whoop-de whoop. Shorty, I don't know you. Like,
but the thing is, at this point, I'm so confused. Genuinely, as if she watches the podcast. I don't know if she watches the podcast.
If you get a text, then you know she watching.
But she's not gonna text. But it's like. It's the clips, and then she went, and then she was like, we heard you don't got a girlfriend." I'm like, hold on.
How'd you get that information?
I'm like, where did you get that information? So I went back yesterday, and I'm looking through our old podcast. I'm like, y'all talk about Berbatov? I'm like, y'all talk about Berbatov? And I'm like, honey, no.
So she's still watching the pod.
I'm like, basically, and I went back and I was looking at the video and how I was describing the situation, and I was like, I can see how you can see. Like that was something substantial there, but I promise you it was not.
Pause.
What?
Why are you explaining yourself?
I'm not
bro. Like you're like sometimes with you be having relationship problems while you're single. Why? Like no. You're explaining yourself while you're single. Like listen, if anybody from my past come up to me on some, I heard you got a girl. I heard it's none of your business. Even if it's nothing, even if it ain't had no substance. Why? I'm not explaining myself to you, babes. We're done.
But it's like no, but it's I believe, and this is me using my deductive reasoning skills. Is that I believe the argument there is, how are you saying you miss me and you want the relationship back, but you have a whole girlfriend?
It happens.
Okay, let's. Okay.
It happens. It happens. Just because I'm friends with you doesn't mean I don't want other friends. Just because I like chicken doesn't. I'm eating chicken, right?
There wasn't one, so I was very confused as to where that thought came from. So I'm like, I'm sitting there and I'm like. So the whole time, because it was Liu that
you asking the wrong questions.
Well, Liu came up and Liu was like, "Oh yeah, she had said that she thinks you got a girlfriend." I was like, "Where did you get this information from?" So, and that dawned in my head for so long. Like on my car ride back for 5 hours, I was playing our old podcast clips to see where exactly that was. And I think like around like 3 hours was when the Berbatov. And I was like, I see where you're coming from.
So you're still paying attention to me.
I'm not gonna lie.
You're asking the wrong questions. I'm
not gonna lie. I had a little toxic moment when she had taken the picture and she had sent it. I was like, I know your night is ruined because now you're thinking about me. But you know what?
Bro, like I would have been like, hey, so you're still paying attention to me? Like it's, I don't know, man.
I don't think that.
Wait, pause. If you watching this, I'm defending my boy because I got to defend him. But you want to invite me to the crib though? Like to the vacation crib? I take that invite any day. At the end of the day, I gotta back my boy no matter what.
I don't think you're going to exit that after I finish the story. But whatchamacallit? We and then like the whole thing happened, and then so at this point it's like they've told me you thought I've had a girlfriend saying this stuff, and I'm like, and then the podcast clip of I think the very exact clip, and I don't know how long you guys was. We were talking about an ex you would spend the block on, and I brought somebody up from middle school. Right, and I was explaining to you, and I was like,
wasn't it the Sky that you were talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, that's a name I use because one, I wanted to be involved in a conversation, and two, I didn't want to bring up something as recent. Like, mind you, I was telling you, I was like, bro, if I sat here all the time, every time we brought about, because we have relationship talks a lot. If all I talked about was you because you're on top of my mind, we would have no content. The conversation would be getting nowhere.
I'm sorry. I'm allowed to move on. I don't like, you're explaining so much about a person you're not involved with no more. Like, I don't.
But the thing is, I can't fully come out here and play the tough guy and be like, I have moved on. I haven't.
Oh, okay. All right. Then yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like there's, brother, every couple, like every you and even Dua was saying the dude was like, as men, we could put on that tough act and put the jacket on all you want, but at some point the jacket gonna come off. You gonna get in your feels when you get in your own. So I'm like, I use this podcast as a way to get those emotions out because I'm not picking up the phone and telling you this.
Okay, tell the whole world, but not the person. Got it.
Of course. But to me, the podcast is just like me and you. Like I'm just having a conversation with you. It just happens to be people like we have like 30 people that watch every week. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm very like I don't like I don't come on this podcast saying stuff with malicious intentions or it make it seem some kind of way. So then the drunk girl was like, okay, like tell me what happened. And I was like, okay, I'm not stupid. I know for a fact any information I say here is going to find its way back.
She's in another state. She is not like she lives right behind you.
No,
what
but
did you?
that's one of her friends. That's one of her best friends. So I'm like, whatever I tell you, I know is direct line to her. So I was like, I can't tell you too much. Then I told her, I was like, the relationship, it was messed up on my part. There was a lot of things I didn't communicate. That was on top of me. There was a lot of actions I took. That was on top, and I made that be known to her.
Pause. If she's her best friend, she already knows all of this. Why are you asking me? You trying to put me on the spot?
Point of view, I guess. But
You know, point of view, nothing. You already know the story.
But the thing that like was making me a little like not irked, but the thing was like is like this conversation wasn't a low key conversation. She was loud about it, so everyone at the table, including Dua's girlfriend, including Isabella, everyone was hearing this conversation, right? And at one point, Isabella felt so bad, she like signaled, and she was like, "Oh, you want to like she a different caveat." She like came to me, she was like, because Emmanuel had told her I had a podcast, and she has a podcast too. So
Okay.
she was like, "Oh, do you want to come sit next to me and talk about the podcast?" But she not really talk about, but she wanted to just give me away because she saw that I was uncomfortable. So then, like we had the conversation, and eventually she was just like, she didn't offer,
Man up. You got other gals pulling you out because you're uncomfortable. That's what the mundum do to the ladies, bro. Do you know how many times I've gone out and my lady friends seem uncomfortable and I had to step in and be like, "Hey yo," they'll be like, "Yo, come here." They'll be like, "What?" I'm like, "I need you for something real quick," and they'll just automatically come over, bro. I'm not explaining my ex to strangers. Do you know how many questions I done got? And I literally tell people I don't want to talk about it. Straight up, I'm like, even if I'm in the wrong, even if I cheated, it's none of your business. It's none of your business. I don't gotta explain myself.
but Ibra, me and you are not the same though. Like that's what I'm saying. Like
That's your problem. We've been friends for way too long for us to not pick up habits from each other. Like now I be late to places because of y'all. It's you. I blame you first. Then Shakir. Then Quasi.
But now I'm on time to places because of y'all.
Exactly. And then like the thing is, bro, that's it. Man, listen. Like the amount of people that ask me about my previous relationship, I'll be like, literally, I'll straight up be like, I don't want to talk about it. They'll be like, oh really? I'm like, yeah, it's because it's mine. That's not yours. It got nothing to do with you. You want that information? Go to her and ask her.
But I was under the impression that it was like we left off on before this conversation with her friend. I thought it was like a mutual like we're kumbaya, like we don't speak every day, but we're cool and we're just doing your thing, I'm doing my thing. Apparently that was not the case. So we kept on talking, and then I talked to her, and she was like, then she asked me, she was like, well, do you want her back? In front of everybody, in front of everybody. And I sat there. I sat there silent. And then eventually I was like, to answer your question, I was like, you want the honest answer or you want the bullshit answer? And she was like, give me the honest answer. And I was like, yes. I was like, I would not sit here and be like, I haven't thought about it. But at the same time, I can acknowledge that sometimes if you really like a person, you realize you're the problem, you need to step away and let it go. So I'm not going to sit here. I could tell you yes, but nothing about my actions is going to initiate and go back and be like, oh, I'm going to try to rekindle this. I'm like, bro, it's been like we're encroaching on a year and a half. You've gone and done your own thing. I've gone and done my own thing. I don't think there's any point where that comes back to this. It's just gonna keep going that direction. And she was like, yeah, but she was too drunk to have a conversation, so she ended up leaving. But obviously you end up leaving, you done fucked up my whole night. Because I just had this conversation now, that's all I'm thinking about. And it's like, I think Dua, his girlfriend, and they noticed like visibly, like I was just out of it after that night. And even Leyu was like, damn, bro, like you fucking up the vibe, bro. Like he's like, Kwadwo, let's rain the 2 million right now, bro. He's like, Kwadwo, I see a girl right behind you looking at you, bro. And she on that, bro. I see right now. But he's like, let me just throw you the lot. He's like, I got you. But I was like, I'm not. I was like pretty out of it. So then eventually Leyu and his two friends were like, they want to go bar hop. So they left us, and it was back to the core four again. It was me, Isabella, Dua, and his girl. And they were like, we want to go back because it was kind of getting late. And then they wanted, and Dua, these days, he goes to bed early and wakes up early. So he's on that kind of time. So he was like, yeah, we go. So we go back home. And then we debriefed about it. And then Dua's girl asked me, like, what was the deal? And like I told her, I explained it, and like this and the third. And then eventually they had went to go to bed. But Isabella had stayed. So she had stayed, and then we got to talking, and then she was like basically we're just like getting to know each other. Like, because this whole weekend, like we've been around each other, but we haven't really had time to talk. And she was telling me about like her past relationships. Like I was talking about like it didn't start off that way. It started off like regular stuff, like regular conversation. We just kept on going and talking about her past relationship. And then like she started with her and told me about her past and like what she had dealt with. And then she looked at me and she goes, what did she say? She said, oh, like, you know, a lot of talk about your ex tonight. Would you like to talk about it? And I was like, you know what? If not now, then what? And mind you, I sat there for the duration of the time and I gave her the whole breakdown from A to Z of like everything, even stuff you man them don't know about it. You seen that meme where it's like I tell the truth, but I don't tell you the whole truth.
That is you.
I told her the whole truth from the start till the like the stuff that was happening over the summer, up until the part we got to the dinner, up until that whole fiasco with the app, like up the whole thing, how I felt, everything, bro. And she's looking at me, and like the whole time I'm speaking, she didn't judge me. She didn't say, "Call me a piece of shit." She just sat there, she just listened. And after she was done, she was like, "Damn, you bitch more than I did when I was in chemo." I said, "Perspective." I said, "Perspective." And she like was like giving me advice on the situation, and she was like, you sitting here doing all this rah rah rah. She was like, you need to forgive yourself. Like, she was like, you sitting here like doing all this talking. It's like, it sounds like you're not even forgiving yourself. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, you're right. I was like, you're right. This whole time, it's not about me waiting for anybody to come and forgive me. I'm still sitting here beating myself up with the situation that's like done, dead, and dusted. So she was like, you got to learn how to forgive yourself. And it's like, yeah, you fucked up, but it's like, if she was like, if you can control it, you would. You clearly can't, but you're letting it hold the rein over your head. And she like gave some pretty solid advice. And then like afterwards, she left. And then she was like, what did she say? Then she was like, what did she say? She's like, it was like happy to connect with you, da, da, da. And like she gave me a hug. And she was like, it's gonna be okay. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a real nigga, but a little teardrop came down, bro. And I was like, that's why I was like, I felt like this trip was much needed for me because I needed to hear from somebody's like mouth, like in that specific race to be like, okay, this is like what it is. And then I came back and then Liu like had hit me up. We like talked about it a little bit. He's like, yeah, bro, like I'm sorry. Like I didn't mean for sure to like bring it up in that like regard, like da 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 da. And like we like hash it up. I came back and today I was like, it's one of those things where it's like I feel like I've talked about it enough. And you raise a point. You raise a point. I'm explaining myself enough about the situation that's like
I don't need to explain myself, period. Like, bro, like the only one that I've ever told about my past relationship problems is you three guys. You, Quasi, Shakir. That's it. Anybody else who's asked me, I swear to God, I put this on my life. I've straight up be like, I don't want to talk about it. Not because I'm hurt about the situation, but simply because I don't want to talk about it. It's none of your business. That's it. Like it's I don't have to explain myself. I can cheat 4 times. You could come up to me, ask all the questions in the world. It's not your relationship. It's not your business. I'm like, if that's your friend, go ahead and ask her. She should have told you. You out here taking pictures, and then they ask her.
I guess the part that like not the part that hit me the most is that this whole time I was under the impression that we were like cool. Like I thought we left off we left off cool, and it was like, okay, it was that the friend made it seem very clear. Like you are most hated in that group. Like so I was like, if you think I'm a piece of shit, I was like, you should have just told me that in the first place instead of making it seem like we're at this cordial plane we were not. That's the only part I walked away that weekend. I was like, I didn't really feel good about it, but I was like, I'm not gonna reach out, text you, and ask you about it. It's not my place. It's not like again, what is there? Like clearly from this conversation, there's nothing for us to talk about. So I was like, it really is what it is. And like, I was like, I'm glad that she, like, if this is what it takes for it to be dead, and if it's like I gotta be the villain, but I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna victim. I am the villain. Like, but
I really was about to say, you're like, I'm not about to pretend I'm not the villain, but you are the villain. You just said like it's your fault.
But it's like I feel like every avenue I've tried to try to make things right is like it can't be the same thing. But then again, I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, I don't know which episode you are watching and which episodes you are not. Because
obviously she's watching every episode.
I don't think she is, bro.
If she found out, if she was able to be like, I heard you got a girlfriend when you didn't tell, and I know what Dua is not talking to her. Like with you always be having relationship problems with women that you're not with. I genuinely do not understand that. Like you always be busy going off on tangents, explaining yourself. I'm a grown ass man. I don't gotta explain myself. Oh, I heard you got a new girlfriend now. I would have been, even if she doesn't exist. Yeah, and I'm not explaining my relationship to you. We're not together. Wrong or right. I don't gotta explain it to you. I still want to come to Cape though, but I don't gotta explain it to you. I don't gotta explain nothing to you. We're not together no more. Don't ask me about questions about who I am or who I'm not with. It's different if it's like a month later, 2 months later, 3 months later, and you ask me.
No, she's not
you
asking
with somebody.
She's not asking. Ibra, that's what I think you're missing.
No. I know she's not asking. She's just bringing it up.
But to make a point is like. Because Liu and Tiambi were going up to her being like, oh, he's saying he misses you, da, da, da. And she's like, how can he say all this when he has a girlfriend?
And as men, we don't make sense. Don't worry about that. Like, well, you're asking the wrong
There
question.
was no girlfriend, but even that's the problem.
I know what you're saying, but like, just like from the standpoint of even if I did have a girlfriend and I miss you, why are you asking me those questions? That has nothing to do with you. Don't worry about it, man. You know, I can play basketball and still miss soccer. Like, it's don't ask me no questions like that. Like, that's like you're in my business. You're in my business, bro.
So then
Sound
we
like a
had-
narcissist.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, I can't even clip this because people, I don't think people understand. They will know that you're joking. So it's like, I'm just going to leave it. So I'm just sitting here and so I'm just sitting here, but I was like, no, that trip healed a lot. And shout out to Isabella for real. She follows the podcast now on the clip, so I know she's gonna see this. But I think that was one of those conversations. That was the conversation I've had with a woman in the first time where I didn't feel judged. I didn't feel like whatever I was saying was like bullshit. It was like none of that. Like,
Niggas ain't shit. Rah,
Yeah.
niggas ain't shit.
Like,
Hey,
she was able
nigga,
to-
you fucked up. You fucked up. It'd be like,
and it's like when that was happening. When back in the bar when the girl was in my ear about it, I remember that time. I think it was you, where you was talking about one of my old jobs, and you was like, you was talking about it, and I snapped, and I was like, don't you think I know?
that's the only time you like in our 12 years or 13 years of friendship. That's the only time you've ever like blacked on me, like you ever like real life like that just
I
snap.
was like, and it's like that. That was because in that moment, that's how I felt. I was like, "You're telling me all these things that I've done
I
wrong."
know.
It's like I know it. I
I
don't need
know.
someone in my ear telling me I have fucked up.
Yeah.
I know that. So then it was like one of those.
'Cause, like,
I thought back to that moment. That made me laugh. That was actually one of the things that stopped me from like even responding to her. Not responding to her, but like responding a negative way back.
Because like even like what's it called, like, cause I was like, bro, cause she was a cool chick, so that's why I was like, hey gang, like when we met her I was like, yo, she's cool as hell, like how'd you mess that up? But me not even thinking, and then like when you blacked out I was like, in my head I'm like, automatically he hit me. I'm like, yo bro, like even if he messed up, don't you think he feels bad already about it? Me reminding him ain't gonna do it. It's only gonna just make the situation much worse. So that's why I ain't even get mad. I was like, you know what, I'm sorry, bro. You're right. I shouldn't even be bringing it up because if you were to do that to me, I probably would have swung on you. So I was like, I apologize. You're right. My fault.
No, but it was cool. But other than that, no. Like I really enjoyed the trip, and he was like, "We got to get you out there. You got to see this for yourself in real time."
I'm not going to Indiana. What is there for me to do in Indiana? Come on, man.
like
I'm not going. It ain't gonna happen.
ever. Never say never.
Indiana? Are you okay? Tennessee is already pushing it. I'm not going to Indiana. There's certain places in America, bro. Listen, LA, Chicago, Texas, Atlanta. I'll go.
But I enjoyed the trip, and it was like it's one of those things where I was like, you know what? Like it was cost a little bit, but I was like, it was worth the money. It wasn't like anything that crazy, but
Dr. Shoot over here telling stories and shit. I say, mind your business, drunk or not drunk. I'm the what? I literally, like, I swear to God, bro, amount of people that ask me about past, like, yo, what happened? I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. There was this one dude I'm like friends with, and then like every time we'll link up, I'll probably see him like once every 6 months. To this day, you still bring it up. And he's like, yo, what happened, bro? I'm like, literally, I'm like, yo, you got one more fucking time to bring it up. I swear to God. I'm like, I'm not even mad about the situation. I'm like, but why you keep bringing it? I'm like, what's your problem?
my thing
Are
is-
you good?
And
You straight?
I think I could never get you to understand it. It's not like up until this point, I have been someone that's be keeping stuff for so long that it comes out in the worst way. So like now, the chances that I do get to get it out, because I still have some. I realize this on this trip. I still have some stuff or some feelings about the situation I haven't completely resolved.
To this day. Damn.
Because it's like I don't. Because my thing is, what is the most healthy way to deal with the situation?
Cry about it, move on. Hey, listen, I don't know. Me, I talk about something once, I'm never bringing it up again.
But that's the thing.
Done, it's done.
I do that, but there's still stuff to the other party that was never said. There's still stuff that I feel like there's still narratives that are being painted that is like it's not the whole picture because you're missing a piece. Like so, it's like
Closure is overrated.
well, not to me. So it's
Okay.
like it's one of those things where it's like I've been burying it so deep, and it well, it didn't come out as worse as it did last time, but in my head I'm like it's still manifesting itself through other ways. So now these days it's like chances come for me to talk about it in a healthy manner. I talk about it, and it's like it's not like it's not like when I have these conversations I'm like over here shitting her. I always start the conversation with she did nothing wrong. She was the best she could have done. That's what. And I go and I talk about my fault, what I did, this is what, and then I just keep it pushing. And I feel like doing that. I've done it on this podcast, and I've done it. This is the second time I've done it. I feel better getting that information out rather than just keeping it and be like mind your business.
I feel better telling niggas to mind their business.
Maybe that's where we different, brother.
Yeah, that's we are a bit different. I talked about it once because I believe honestly, talking about it too many times for me, it's like it just constantly it gives the story more weight.
Okay.
Wrong or right. I feel like it's different for you because it's like for you, I don't know, like the situation is like you're at fault. So that's why it weighs much more on your mind. Where for me, I'm like, I'm not at fault. So it's easy for me to like, it's easier for me to talk about it once and be like, hey, gang, I'm done. Because to me, I look at life as like, can I do something about it? No. Okay, then it's done. If I genuinely, if I feel like, yo, I've tried my best with this situation and I can't do it, nothing is changing, then that door is meant to stay shut and I'm going on about my life. So that's why I think that's how I see life. I'm like, can I do something about it? No. Okay, then boom. But like, hey, King, you know, somebody once told me, you know, it was funny. I was arguing with this one girl. She like, if a woman breaks up with you, you're supposed to chase her because women want to feel like they want to be chased. I said, I'd rather jump off a bridge before I chase a woman after she broke up with me over like, you know, over something I can't control. But hey, gang, that's your life, you know. Women want to feel like you want them, you yearn for them, so you got to chase them, even if you're not in the wrong. I said, I'm gonna be single for life.
But it's like even in this case, I am in the wrong. But I don't think she wants to be chased. Last time we spoke, she just said, "What did she tell me?" She just said she doesn't want me talking about the situation anymore, or talking about her in any particular way because it like hurts her feelings. I think. I don't know if I'm misquoting her. So that's why, like, usually when I talk about it, I try not to bring up anything that has to do with her. I just talk about myself because I'm like, this is just me talking about it purely from like my standpoint. So, but I think that trip might have been the last trip I needed to like seal the box. Like, because after Isabella looked at me and was like, "You bitching about this one in chemo?" I said, "Yeah, you might be onto something." So it is what it is. But another to close off a last point, and it's not even a Love Island point because you've not seen the episode, so there's no point in talking about it. And there's a huge debate going on between like two of the characters, which is Casey and Anaya. And I'm just gonna say, we're not here to voice our opinions on the matter. Whatever we have to talk about, it is what it is. But I'm just like, seeing the discourse has made me realize people don't know how to argue, and people don't know how to understand that like someone's point or someone's point of view about something. Like, I don't even know. But the way people have been arguing and the discourse online, I'm just like, maybe it's not everybody that you argue with.
Hey, like you said, literally, like when you sent that sentence, like I'm learning to stay away from certain people when they talk, bro. I swear to God, bro. Like I was in the grocery store because I was hearing somebody. I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about the number one thing that they struggle with is arrogance. And then that popped up in my head. I'm like, I can be arrogant sometimes, but I feel like my arrogance is rooted in my ability. So it's like I know who I am, but I'm like one thing I'm arrogant about. Like certain people, when it comes to certain discussions, I'll just let them have it because in my head I'm like, you're stupid anyways. So I know I'm wasting my time and energy talking to a person who don't know how to communicate right. And I was like, I was debating that. I'm like, is that a problem? I'm like that. Because I'm like, I feel like honestly, I was like me. I feel like I can be dismissive sometimes when it comes to certain things and certain people and certain feelings, because I'm like, that's stupid. That is so stupid. And so when you came in the group chat and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna just stop arguing with certain people because obviously they don't know how to talk. I was like, thank you. That's what I needed to hear. I was like, never mind that. I ain't the problem. Because I was like, hey, I ain't the problem.
I'm sitting here like, I don't understand why people can't have two different point of views, bring up their point with evidence, and have it be where it's like, so many people online, and this especially think that whatever their opinion is the right opinion, and everybody should agree. And I'm sitting there like, there's no, and it's like, and if you don't agree, you and Satan are like this. You and Satan, and I'm sitting here like, that's no. You can like
I feed into it.
Like the other day when we were arguing with Shakir about the whole bet thing, right? I just felt like he was like fucking with us, like he was playing in our faces.
I
right?
thought he was trying to play with me too, bro. I'm
But
like,
he brought up a very valid point where it's like, I was like, even though I don't agree with what you're saying, and regardless, I'm still not agreeing with this bet anyway. You made a very valid point when he made the arm wrestle where he was like, if I started all the way down here, would you still bet if it's a win or draw? Because I'll bet my left testicle I'm winning that arm wrestle. So it's like, from that point of view, I was like, even though I don't agree with your claim, you brought up a very valid point, and we can still have a discussion about it, and everybody's points can be heard. And it's like, at the end of the day, if you still don't agree, that's cool. But you don't dismiss people and start calling people out their names. I'm hearing debates about talking about, I'm gonna break up with my man if he doesn't agree with this point of me on Love Island. I'm like, are you serious?
man.
So I don't know what the state of the world is in, but I I wanted to do what Shakira little reacts and like give our takes on it and like support it with evidence, but I'm like, I don't even know how that's going to go out in Love Island. So I'm just, for the rest of the season, I'm gonna just stay away from the Love Island chat. Love Island, I'm gonna just watch it. I'm gonna just watch it, enjoy it, and then go in the group chat with us, and because we're having some healthy back and forths in there. Talk about it, discuss it, and then move on from there, and then that's it. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, it's been your boys over at the O2 podcast. I know we still got to get in the word every week, but we are like not today, but I think if you have time later on during the week, we'll just do that and then put it into this episode.
Yeah.
So the Bible segment is coming up right now. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, we forgot to record the Psalms in there. So this is O2 and the Psalms. It's gonna be quick. Your boy hasn't taken a shower. I've been cleaning the crib all day. I gotta be somewhere at 7:30 and 7:05 right now. So we're gonna get right into it on Psalms chapter 4, titled "The Safety of the Faithful," where it says, "Hear me when I call, O God of my righteous." Hold on, let me relax. I'm going to, before niggas start getting online calling me illiterate. Let's regroup. Let's start over. Hear me when I call, O God of my righteousness. You have relieved me in my distress. Have mercy on me and hear my prayer. How long, O you sons of men, will you turn my glory to shame? How long will you love worthlessness and seek falsehood? But know that the Lord has set apart himself for himself him who is godly. The Lord will hear when I call to him. Be angry and do not sin. Meditate within your heart on your bed and be still. Offer the sacrifices of righteousness and put your trust in the Lord. There are many who say, who will show us any good? Lord, lift up the light of your, what is this word? Countenance upon us. You have put gladness in my heart, more than in the season that their grain and wine increased. I will both lie down in peace and sleep. For you alone, Lord, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. Talk to me, brother. It's one of those you got to pick apart. It's okay. It's one of those you got to pick apart and like just start off verse by verse. The verses that speak to you.
I think it's the calling of God when you're in the bad times, and it's like basically saying finding peace in those hard moments, in those hard seasons, and I think that's the most important times. Even though like that shouldn't be the only time you call upon God, but it's basically saying, in my hard seasons is when I find the most peace in God, and that's when I call upon you. And like, let me see. Oh, ye sons of men, how long will you turn my glory into shame? How long will you vanity seek? That's all I got right now.
But I think the way I think about it is when it says in the title, "The Safety of the Faithful," is that I feel like it's very hard to trust God when things are not going your way. Like when it feels like back to back to back, all the time stuff is not going your way. You feel like you're getting punished, or you feel like God done forgot about you. But I think that's what I got from this verse, is that even when things aren't going your way, or like maybe it's not looking too bright for you, again, the safety of the faithful is that as long as you remain faithful, God will come and get you. And I'm not gonna lie, I've had those moments from time to time. There's some moments where I remember before I had got a job when I was undergrad, and I thought I wasn't getting nowhere. And I remember it was my mom that called, and she was like, "Yo, you gotta pray." And I was like, "Man, if God is real, why can't I land a job, bro?" She broke down crying.
You know you can't. You gotta say that to me.
She called me back a couple days later, bro. She was crying. She was like, that? Literally, she was like, "Why would you say that? Like, think about how far God has brought us. You know He's gonna get you through, but you don't say that. That's not, bro." I was sitting here like, bro. And in the moment, I realized, like, damn, like it's one of those moments where it's like when things are not going our way, we seem to forget everything that God has done for us. Like we forget that He done brought us from 0 to 90, but we're still upset about that 10% He hasn't yet brought us up to. I think that's what I got for it. And again, stay faithful in all that and all those endeavors. So,
and also partially to it is like, what's it called? It's like it's being faithful in these moments too is what builds your relationship and your strength and your trust in God. And this wise when it said, what's it called? Thou hast put gladness in my heart more than in the times that their corn and their wine increased. So it's like basically like I found more peace when things are going wrong because I know the God that I serve. And I think that's very important too in these moments.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like again, and this is I'm a testament of this. It's very hard for you to see the light and thank God is on you when things are not going your way, bro. But it's important, I think, to recognize that he's never gonna leave you. Like I'm trying to think about moments in the, like you have Job, for example. There are prominent times in the Bible where he has been able, even the worst of the sinners, he's able to turn their lives around and make it better. So it's like you're not any worse and you're not any better, but God still loves you. And yeah, that's what I got for today. So it's going to be quick. The editor got to put this together and give this back to me tomorrow. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and you see you guys in the next episode. Peace.